Alright, okay, I'm gonna try and not get too excited or overreact because of one game of this quote-unquote new look lineup, and I say that in air quotes because the roster isn't really all that new, really just the addition of Patrick Beverley and waiving Tony Bradley, obviously, I guess also adding Terry and waiving Malcolm Hill for that two-way deal, but a new look lineup in the sense that you had a new starting lineup, which really, aside from changes due to injuries, Billy Donovan has really kept the same starters throughout the season, with Patrick Williams, Ayo, Zach, DeMar, and Vucevic. And a bit of a surprise to see Billy go with Patrick Beverley and Caruso in place of Ayo and Patrick. Very small starting lineup, but I like the adjustment in the sense that you put in two of your better defenders and really your biggest hustle players in the starting lineup to complement your three best offensive players. I love the adjustment, I really do. I know we've been criticizing Billy Donovan this season. I'm not a big fan of Billy, as you guys know, but knowing after losing 6 in a row, Bulls don't make any moves at the trade deadline, but knowing also that the direction from the front office is still to win now, still to make the playoffs, instead of just shutting it down, try and take and keep the pick if it falls within the top 4, knowing the goal is still to win now, for Billy Donovan, it's okay, try something different. Post All-Star break with your new addition and get this team to turn things around. Now again, I said I'm going to try and not get too excited because really until the Bulls can start showing up like this consistently and actually get above 500 and are winning games handily, not winning games after blowing big leads to bad teams, but winning games in a convincing fashion, then I'll get excited. Until then, I'm viewing this as just a very good game, probably the best, most complete game of the season on both ends of the floor for the Bulls. Although I say that, but some of the wins they had against the Bucks and the Celtics earlier in the year, those hard-fought games were really great performances. But this one, obviously a great game because the Bulls completely dominated throughout, right from the jump. When they started the game out 14-2 and playing with that high effort and quickness, and guess what? The Bulls didn't blow a big lead, something we haven't seen in a while. I won't lie, I got worried when I saw the Bulls take a quick 25-point lead in the first half. We've seen that happen before. You guys probably saw me tweet about it with a little side eye and unsure how I felt about it, but this team has a newfound sense of energy coming out of the locker room in the third quarter, knowing they could not blow another game like this, especially not after coming off a long break and on a 6-game losing streak, and especially with a Nets team that was completely revamped at the trade deadline. You want to talk about continuity? That is a team that does not have any semblance of continuity, while the Bulls do. They're still a fun and exciting team, don't get me wrong. I actually really like the new look Nets despite their poor play tonight, but point being, Bulls couldn't blow another lead like that. And they came out in the third and kept beating them up, not letting their guard down, not getting complacent, thinking they have a big lead and can goof off. They maintained their heavy ball movement style of offense, taking smart shots, playing hard-nosed defense. And hey, for once the guys look like they actually gave a crap to be out there and to try to win a basketball game, to actually have some pride in playing basketball. And hey, maybe that's the Patrick Beverley effect. All it takes is one guy who is going to bust your balls in practice and get on you to work harder. And that mentality is infectious in not wanting to let that player down and matching their energy and sense of urgency. Here's the thing, we all know Patrick Beverley isn't going to be one of these star players that is going to get you a ton of points, and at his age, his efficiency has dipped drastically. His defense isn't as good as it once used to be when he was a first-team all-defensive player, but for Patrick Beverley, it's what he brings off the court and lighting a fire under these guys, and actually bringing some excitement to the United Center. Patrick Beverley in his Bulls debut getting the start, 22 minutes, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a plus 24 in the night, although everyone's box plus minus was insane with the absolute destruction the Bulls put on the Nets tonight. The other thing I liked about Ayo and Pat coming off the bench is that as much as what may seem like a demotion, they still ended up playing more minutes than Pat, Bev, and Caruso. Now granted, that might have looked a little different if the starters didn't basically sit the whole fourth quarter, but it's more about the adjustment in rotations. Adding some more defense in the second unit, and both of them played very well. Patrick Williams, 17 points, 5 for 8 shooting, 2 for 2 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, plus 21. Not only that, but his assertiveness tonight when he was on the court. I mean, he's one of the better players in the second unit compared to when he's in the starting lineup. Giving him that kind of confidence might just be what he needs to develop his game and help getting him to the next level. Ayo, 26 minutes, 7 points, 9 rebounds, active in transition, getting up and down the court in a hurry. Again, normally I would say Patrick Beverley coming in, getting the start. I don't like it because it's bad for Patrick and Ayo's overall development. And I actually said that when it was announced that the Bulls were signing Patrick Beverley, citing that I wasn't a big fan of the move because I think it's a mistake to deprioritize the development of your younger players in a lost season. But maybe this will actually be good for both of these guys overall. Same for Coby White, although he didn't have the best game tonight. but having them lead the second unit enables them to get comfortable going up against other teams' bench versus their starters. But anyway, I mean, you look across the board. Bulls shot 56% tonight. Massive amount of points scored in the paint. 12 for 26 from 3. Still not taking that many threes, but we should have really expected that not really to change much with the addition of Patrick Beverley. Bulls out-rebounded the Nets on an insane 57-31 discrepancy, although that helps when the Nets missed so many shots tonight, including going 12 for 44 from 3, 25 assists tonight for the Bulls, and only 9 turnovers. Love that assist to turnover ratio. Zach Lavine, guess he listened to what Patrick Beverley was telling him and not passing the ball and just putting the ball in the hoop. Was very efficient tonight, shooting 12 for 17, 4 for 6 from 3, 32 points, 6 rebounds. Zach Lavine, by the way, is only 2 points away from passing Derrick Rose for 10th on the Bulls' all-time scoring list. Yes, I'm a stat nerd and follow stuff like that. What's also great is we didn't really need a big game from DeMar DeRozan. 17 points, only shot 8 for 17, but still managed to finish with a plus 35. And actually, all the Bulls' big three finished with a plus 35. Vuce finished the game with 13 and 10, didn't even have to take a single three. Anyway, all in all, a great game. I love the energy, the effort, the sense of urgency that they need to start winning these games, if they even have a shot at making the playoffs. For me, just need to see this level of play continue on a consistent basis. And I'm talking for like 10 straight games, because we have been fooled by the Bulls seemingly turning things around after having a good 4 to 5 games and then falling back to their usual ways, losing to bad teams and falling to 11th in the conference. Bulls are still 11th, by the way, still 1.5 games behind the Wizards for 10th and 2 games behind the Raptors for 9th, which is why the Bulls' next 2 games are going to be very critical, given they'll be playing both of these teams in their next matchups. I'll obviously have post-game videos out for those. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.